square. All right, this is something you're probably gonna end up seeing this weekend, but it's something that normally happens in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. A lot of times when you're passing the person's guard, or just when you're doing anything, the person might end up going to turtle position. I already explained that yes, you want to put your hooks in to control the back and all that. However, there's other things you can do, and there's things you can do from here to finish the guy from this position. One of the things that I like to do when I'm in this position is, number one, I want to make sure my body is positioned correctly on my opponent. I don't want to be too high on him or sticking my arm too deep here when he can have control of my arm so then he can roll me. That's the wrong thing that I want to do. First things first, when I'm on my opponent in this position, I like to be right here, hip on hip, my arm where my elbow up here, not past where he can grab. My elbow always stays up here. I usually just place a hand. I don't need to grab anything here, stressing my forearms for no reason. That's the number one thing that I like to do when I'm in this position. Second, a lot of times when you're here, your opponent, once he gets to here, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but it's not impossible. One, I like grabbing proper areas for me to apply the choke that I'm going to do. And what we're going to do here is going to be the clock choke. One way I like to start is, number one thing, I want to grab his lapel. But I don't want to grab his lapel over here and loosen up a little bit. And I just don't want to go directly for it and try to grab the clock choke from here. Because a lot of times, the moment you grab this, boom, he's going to know he's going to get a clock choke, so he's going to start defending, he's going to start pulling your arm down, he's going to start trying to turn into you or go down to his side. What I like to do is, number one, my body's positioned properly, I got hip on hip. When I reach here and I open the bottom of his gi, I'm opening it right towards the middle. Come up. I'm opening right towards the middle here. I'm not grabbing high all the way up here on my opponent. I'm grabbing nice middle section. And also at the same time, go back down. When I'm grabbing here, you see where my elbow is. My elbow's not past that point. Try to grab my elbow. He has to go that far back. He has no power like that. If I went deep and grabbed, now not only is my weight over, but my elbow's past that point, and it's going to be very easy for him to roll me. Boom. So I'm grabbing right here down this middle. What that's doing, you see his lapels being stretched, it's nice and open. This hand here, I'm going to stick right through and grab. Now, notice, it's not like other chokes where I'm always telling you guys, go deep, go deep, go deep. I don't need to go too deep over here. Over here, just straight through is fine. And boom, get a nice little grip and grab. Next thing I'm going to do then is, this hand that was holding this side of the lapel down here is just going to switch to the opposite one. So come back up here. Now I'm holding against his neck. I switch from this side. I grab this one down here. Again, I don't need to like climb up and just and force all that. I can do it right from here. It's a little bit loose, but it's not loose where he's going to get loose, where he's going to get away from me. Go back down. Boom. So I'm here and I got my hand settings are in the proper place. Next thing you can do is, there's two ways you can go about this. When I'm in this position here, I can start going around and clock choking my opponent until he taps. A lot of times that becomes very difficult, and if I have a resistant opponent, it's going to be a fight for a long time. What I prefer to do from here is, my head is going to go down here, and all my body weight is going to go on the back of his head. So I got my application, I got my hands in the proper place, boom, I come down to this position right here. Here he's holding, so he expected it, but most guys are going to break down and be flat on the ground. You don't need to, you're fine there. But from here, I have my hold nice and deep, and he's no longer blocking. Now, this back leg is going to switch, my hips are going to switch, I'm going to start looking up, and I'm going to start choking. You see how he tapped way before I was even done. Normally, the clock choke, I'm going to go around in a clock all the way around my opponent, and it's really going to finish him then. But when you have it nice and tight, nice and proper, he'll start tapping very, very soon within the choke. Come over here so Steve can see. Turn. So first things first, my body position, I'm over here. I like being like this, where I'm close to my opponent. If I'm riding him, I'm riding with my hips low, and again, my chest is back here. I'm not riding him like this. I'm riding here, where I can push in. I just like to be like this, is habit from wrestling or wherever, but this works fine as well, as long as your center of gravity is not over his, because then he's just gonna roll you. Boom. So I'm here. First things first, I reach, I grab that lapel, I have it nice in the middle, I make sure my elbow's away from that danger zone, and I got it pulled back. This hand here is gonna go right across and grab. Boom. When we're done, take off your jewelry and grab, and I'm grabbing right here. Boom. The free hand is gonna go across the other lapel and come back, come up. I switch the lapel hands. I grab this one down here at the bottom, go back down. Boom. My head's gonna go to the floor here. Now all my weight is on his head. And now from that point, this back leg is gonna switch because I'm switching my hips, and I start turning, and he taps. What I'm doing there is that hand that's in the back is staying steady. This hand right here that's across his head is being pulled because my body's turning around him. Make sense?
Yes, sir.
You understand? You good?
Yes, sir.
Cool. Partner up.